Hello and welcome to a very unusual video. I think this might be my first ever channel update that I've ever done on YouTube, but I've been put through the ringer recently because I was planning 2 weeks after I finished Dredge, the Iron Rig. I was planning to record something, record an episode of my other playthroughs, and that's when Hurricane Helen or Helene or whatever swept through, and it about wiped us off the map. So I kind of wanted to keep this video separate from my other ones that I've done because I'm gonna I'm gonna be going into some slightly dark topics that aren't really fit for my actual playthroughs and stuff. But just to keep it short and simple, my family was we were blessed because we came through the storm. We had no idea how bad it actually was until 4 days after we lost power, which was, I think we lost power on like September 26th, maybe. I know the night before we lost power for the long stretch was me and my friends were playing Hunt Showdown, Hunt 1986 or whatever it's called now, and you know, none of us knew how bad that storm was going to be, and at the end we actually lost power for a little bit. Like the power blinked for one of our friends that was in the party, and that's when me and my other friend said, "Well, we better get off here because it's probably just going to get worse." And I said, "Well, I'll see you guys next time if we don't get killed." And as it turns out, I shouldn't have said anything because it was bad. Like I've never lived through a time like this in my life. Like we were the next day I woke up and we didn't have power. I think I woke up at like 6 or 7 in the morning, and the rain was starting to come down. Well, it was coming down all day pretty much, and we were just basically sitting there watching it rain. And then from there we just kept waiting and waiting, and I think on the fourth day we started hearing like rescue helicopters and stuff coming in, and they were flying right over the house. And because we had like there's a fire department at the end of our road, and that was the big relief center for a lot of the stuff, where people could go to get like supplies and everything. And yeah, the fourth, we were blessed because up here where I live, the only damage we had was our driveway got washed a little bit. But so we were sitting there like, man, what's taking them so long to get the power back on and everything? And then I don't remember if it was the 5th or the 6th day we actually went out. There was actually a curfew in place. We wasn't supposed to go out. We wasn't supposed to go out unless we had to grab essentials and stuff. But we went out just to see the damage, and yeah, that was crazy. Farmland's been turned into giant mud pits. There was a big sinkhole that opened up in town. It was like a perfect circle. It looked like somebody took like an ice cream scoop and just got rid of part of the road and maybe some light poles and stuff. And I'm trying to remember what else because it's been so long. It took us I think we were without power for 17 days, and we were we pretty much, well, some other damages that we sustained that wasn't directly from the flood, but it was due to the power outages and stuff. Was we lost everything in our freezers and our refrigerators, so we had to dump those out. And there was a big problem with trash, and they told everybody if you've got stuff like food and stuff that can decompose, to just like throw it outside, and that attracted the predators. There's I've heard coyotes howling more after that than I've ever heard. We pretty much hear them like 3 or 4 times every night at this point, sometimes early in the morning. There's been bears. I'm pretty sure I even saw Jared Fogle running around out there at one point. But anyways, we got our power back on 17 days after initially losing it on the 26th, I think I said. And basically we were living on grilled food. We had our generator. It was our first time using a generator, by the way. We're not we're pretty much dinosaurs up here. Nobody really knows much about the technology and everything. We had to get some people to help us out, but we were running stuff on generators to try and save what was left in our freezers, because we've got outside freezers as well as inside freezers and stuff around here. And the outside freezers, they were, well, there was one at my grandma's house that was outside that busted, but the other two up here where I live, I only lost the stuff that was in my refrigerator. But yeah, I'm trying to think about other interesting things that happened. Pretty much just helicopters every day. I guarantee there was at least 25 helicopters a day flying over our house, I'm guessing they were doing search and rescue stuff. But enough about me. I'll tell you a little bit about what happened. Now, I'm not 100% certain on this. Don't quote me. Plus, I got internet back yesterday, so I've not really looked into this to see how bad it really is or was. But when I think day 4 was the day when my dad actually went down to the fire department to ask how bad things were, and they told him that at least 10 people in our area had died. And fast forward about, I guess 17 days, close to when we got our power back on, the number had risen to around 100. It was over 100. And the thing is, this time of year, we have people that come down. Well, they come from all over, really. We call them leaf lookers. They come down here to watch the leaves change and stuff. And they don't keep a record of who enters the state or anything. And there were people that they were finding people that they didn't have any idea where they were, or who they were, where they were from. And there was just a lot of death, a lot of destruction. I'm not really sure. I've heard. Well, let me give you some more backstory. But back in 1977, the area where I lived, we had what was called the flood of 77. And during that flood, that flood took place in the dead of night when most people were asleep. And we got, the thing that triggered that flash flood was 9 inches of rain. And I remember my mom was telling me this, but back during that time, my grandfather, he said that it was a good thing the flood happened at night, because if people had actually been awake to see what was going on around them, they would have tried to escape, or they would have tried to save their stuff. And fast forward to 2024, when this flood happened, I'm not sure how much rain we got actually down in the valleys and stuff, but one of the highest mountain peaks around here, it got 29 inches of rain, from what I've heard. That might be a little off, give or take a few inches. Well, take a few inches, but it was crazy. If people that lived down by the river and stuff, every river, every stream, every creek has expanded at least by, I'd say, I don't know, maybe a foot. Rivers have expanded a lot more than that, and houses have been swept away. They were, I've heard they were taking people, they were having to take boats up into these places to rescue people, and I've heard plenty of horror stories too. Uh, but back to what my grandpa said, he said it was a good thing it happened in the night because people would have tried to save their stuff. And this flood happened about, it was kind of like early morning. It was early morning when it began. It began raining, and people just, there was evacuation orders on in certain places, but we lost power before they had really issued all those, and they just kept updating because throughout the day my phone was ringing constantly with those emergency alert things saying that the flood, there's a flash flood warning, a flash flood watch in effect for this time, and then like not even 5 minutes later it would update and say that it, like, that watch had been extended for like 3 more hours. And but yeah, like I said, it happened early morning when people were actually watching this stuff happen, and they were watching their cars get washed away and stuff. People thought they could save their cars, and they ended up getting washed away with them. People thought that, people decided to wait and try to evacuate. They didn't realize they had to evacuate because, like I said, nobody really knew how bad this was going to be, and they waited till the last minute and they saw, well, it's getting pretty bad. We better hit the road. And then when they got on the road, their tires lost traction and their whole cars got swept away too. And like I said, we've got leaf lookers down here. We've got all kinds of people that we don't know who they are. We've not, my understanding is they've not been able to identify a lot of these people because they don't really have pictures of them and they don't know who they are. And but let me think again. I made a script for this video. Actually, I was making a disaster timeline. Writing was one of the ways I stayed sane during all this garbage. But anyways, we got the internet finally back on yesterday. And let's see. I might have to trim this down because I think I've really said all I was going to. But my friends, everybody's all right. I was gonna say everybody that I know is okay at least. Like I said, the only real damage I got was a washed out driveway. There was a cemetery on my mom's side of the family that got washed away, and my grandma was all tore up about that because her mom and dad got washed away, their caskets anyways, and we don't know where those are at. And there was just a lot going on. There was some people that lived in the hardest hit areas. We like I said, everybody survived the flood, but we did have a few. We had some deaths after the flood, but it was mainly elderly people, old age or something. But I've never done a channel update like this before, and I honestly hope I never have to do another one like this again. But I was trying to keep myself sane. I was doing writing, I was doing crossword puzzles, I was doing all kinds of stuff. I had some of the best food I've ever eaten, though, during this time, which is kind of ironic because we were grilling out every day, and we were basically using stuff out of the freezer that was starting to thaw, and that was some good eating. But we had some there were some funny moments here and there. My dad was about to lose it well, on the day that stuff was happening, he was more worried about calling somebody to fix our driveway because we didn't know how bad things really were. And we were on the day we were having to clean our freezers and stuff out. My grandma was giving us some of that old timey mountain wisdom. She was telling us that we could, if jelly molds over, we could scrape the mold off the top of it, and the rest of it would still be good. And I was like, Lord have mercy, how are you still with us? but but anyways, that was my little channel update for you. And so, like I said, I meant to post. There was a lot I wanted to do. I was wanting to get back into either Spyro, Daxter, or Jak 2. Since I finished the Iron Rig, Dredge DLC and stuff. And I actually had some plans. I basically skipped the entire month of October. I was looking forward to October before it got here, because my birthday's in October, and we plus Halloween and everything. But it didn't feel like any sort of month. It felt like time just kind of stopped for us after this crap happened, and we were basically just sitting there looking out the window every day waiting on power. We had to heat our water with the these little I think they're called fire pots. They're like little aluminum cans that you have a wick that you can light once you unscrew the top off of it. And we were collecting creek water to flush the toilets, and it was bad. It was disgusting. I hope I never have to live through something like that again. But it was an unusual experience, but it was not to sound morbid. I know if anybody's watching this and you suffered a lot more than I have during this stuff, I'm sorry, but it was a fascinating experience because I learned a lot. I learned a lot about how to survive if this stuff ever happens again, and all the stuff that you have to do. Like we were getting, if not for my mom, since she lived through that flood and saw the stuff that they had to do to survive back in those days, she kind of passed that knowledge on to me. But I know I've kind of rambled. I've said it like 5 times, but I've never done a video just of me yapping about stuff that's happened and everything, especially one this dark. But it wasn't. I was going to tell you some stories about stuff that I've heard. There was, and I don't know how much of this is true. I've heard in some of these hardest hit places, they went to check on these people, and they found an elderly couple that was still in their house, and this guy had survived like 3 days being pinned in one position, but his wife had not survived. And from where he was laying, he had to look at her for 3 days while they were trying to get to him. And there was another incident where a guy thought he could go out and maybe move his truck because the water was starting to come up and get under it and stuff. This guy was like 80, somewhere around in there. He was old, and he slipped on his way out to the truck and got swept away. And they found his remains in Tennessee. And there's just a lot. I genuinely have no clue. We were so blessed. We were basically living in a bubble up here. Everybody was more concerned about getting their power and stuff back on and all that stuff, while we were sitting here wondering where's the power. And then like maybe 5 roads down from ours, people were wondering where their houses had washed to, where their loved ones had washed to. I mean, it was awful. And I'm just I'm still in shock that it happened, really, because looking back, it feels like just a really long dream, kind of like you kind of just say, "What did that really happen?" But yeah, I thought we were pretty safe where we are. No, I don't think any hurricane has ever took the path that one did, and it came inland. I don't know how bad things were at the coast when this thing was working its way up, but yeah, like I said, it was bad, and uh, I was I don't I should have started with this, honestly, because I'm sure a lot of people will see this video and they'll be like, "Oh, that sounds interesting," and they'll click on it and look at a cartoon dragon. But I don't have a PC. I'm not on PC. I'm recording this through PlayStation 5's Share Factory, so the only way I could really record this was through uh, a game that would capture my voice and stuff. I could have recorded a video on my phone, but I'd rather just stick to what I do. My channel's all about game playthroughs and stuff and funny gaming moments, so I figured I would stick with what I know. But anyways, I'm sorry for the longer than average delay. I know sometimes I get lazy, I'll be honest, and I'll just not record anything for a week or two. But I had some plans for October. I was maybe going to try to finish up Daxter and then start a Dead Space playthrough, the new one, because I've never played Dead Space, but it looked like a good spooky Halloweenish game to play during October. But like I said, we were without internet from the 26th until just yesterday, so we pretty much skipped the entire month of October. Luckily, I had some other games. I had some single-player games I downloaded that I played. I had East Memories of Celceta. I'm still working on Yakuza, or Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, which is awesome. If you've never played the Yakuza franchise, I would highly recommend it. I've played every one of those, and they're all amazing, except for Yakuza 3. You can happily skip that one. But it's good to be back. And I was half tempted to maybe tell this story while I was running around in game doing some stuff in this, but I decided to just make a channel update, all that stuff. So I know I've said everything at least 6 or 7 times, so hopefully you guys will forgive me for that. But if you guys went through this crap too and want to share some stories, I'm more than willing to listen, because it's nice to learn all these things, and so that you can be prepared in case something does happen to you where you live. And it's really opened my eyes to all the stuff that you take for granted, because we were pretty helpless without power and water and stuff, having to take sponge baths and all this other stuff, not getting 1/4 as clean as we ought to be. But I think I've talked long enough, but hopefully you guys will forgive me given all that's happened. But hopefully in the next episode, I'm doing a channel update and I'm acting like I'm doing a playthrough. But for those of you that follow my channel, hopefully I might play some Spyro after I get done recording this, but I don't usually talk that much, so my throat's kind of getting a little sore. But thank you guys for watching my channel update, first of its kind. And like I said, if you had to experience all this trash, then I apologize, because I guarantee you went through rougher stuff than I did, and I still don't really know how bad things are, and I'm kind of scared, honestly, to look it up. I'm kind of dreading having to. Well, something else. I'll just tack this on at the end, guys. It has been a month. It has been 31 plus days into this crap. I think 38 days, 39, somewhere around in there as of this recording. And they still can't get into these places where the trees have fallen and are blocking the road. They're having to airdrop supplies to people still. If that tells you how bad this crap is. And I hope you don't think I like to interject humor into stuff, but I hope you guys don't think that I'm you know, being rude to these people's memories or whatever, but because it's I'm not good with emotional subjects and all that, but anyways, I guess I'll catch you guys in, well, considering you people that watch this, you people, if you stick around for my playthroughs, my next playthrough will be in another Spyro episode, because I've been neglecting Spyro. I did like 4 episodes in a row and got burnt out on it, kinda. But now that my internet's back, I've got this renewed vigor about me. Not really. I'm still just as lazy as I ever was, but I'm gonna try to get back into a slightly regular schedule, regularly scheduled programming or whatever. If by regular you mean whenever I feel like it. So thank you guys for watching my channel update, and I hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys made it through this, and I will see you guys in my actual episodes. But thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Hopefully it'll be a little bit lighter than this one, because I know I laid on some heavy stuff, and especially if you clicked on this video seeing a cartoon dragon, I guess you weren't expecting to hear about flooding and all this stuff going on. But anyways, I'll see you guys next time.